Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. If you happen to look up at the night sky this week, you are in for a real treat. Our moon is having a bit of a close encounter, and we're going to break down exactly what's happening and, more importantly, how you can see it for yourself. All right, let's get into it.
So you might find yourself looking up and asking this exact question. You'll see the moon hanging up there, and right nearby, this really distinct, bright, reddish point of light. And no, it's not Mars. It's something much, much bigger. The two celestial objects putting on this little show for us are our very own moon and a star called Antares. It's this incredible pairing of our closest celestial neighbor with a true giant from clear across the galaxy.
So, what's the big deal? Well, over 2 nights, the half-lit moon is going to look like it's gliding right past the super famous star in the constellation Scorpius. It's this beautiful slow-motion dance that you can watch unfold right from your own backyard.
Here's the play-by-play. On the night of August 30th, you'll see the waxing moon. That just means it's still growing towards being full. And it's going to be hanging out to the lower right of Antares. Then, just 24 hours later, on the 31st, it'll have visibly jumped over to the star's upper left. This is such a cool way to see just how quickly the moon is moving across our sky.
But who exactly is this star, Antares? It's not just some random point of light up there, you know. It has this whole fascinating identity of its own. So let's get to know the other main character in our little celestial story.
Antares is what astronomers call a red supergiant, and that means it's a totally enormous, aging star. To put its size into perspective, if you were to drop Antares where our sun is, it would completely swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, and even Mars. It is just unbelievably colossal.
Antares has this amazing nickname, the Heart of the Scorpion. And the reason for it is actually pretty simple. It sits right in the center of the constellation Scorpius, the Scorpion, marking its fiery red heart.
So let's quickly break down its resume. We know it's the heart of the Scorpion. We know it's one of the brightest stars we can see without any help. But here's the kicker, and this is my favorite fact about it. It's not just one star.
That's right, Antares is actually a binary system. What we see is that one bright red dot is Antares A, the red supergiant. But it has a companion, Antares B, which is a much smaller white star. The only reason we never see it is because the supergiant's glare is so incredibly bright that it just completely overpowers its partner from where we're standing on Earth. Okay, so now you know what's happening and who the key players are. Now for the fun part, the how. Here is your super simple guide to seeing this thing for yourself.
All right, here's your timeline. On the evening of August 30th, right after sunset, just look to the southwest. You'll find the moon, and you'll see Antares shining about 5 degrees away from it. Then, the very next night, August 31st, look again. The moon will have literally journeyed to the other side of the star.
Now, you might be wondering, what in the world does 5 degrees in the sky even look like? Well, you don't need any fancy equipment for this. In fact, you've got the perfect measuring tool attached to your arm right now. This is called the 3-finger rule. It's a classic stargazing hack. Just find the moon in Antares, hold your arm out completely straight, and raise your 3 middle fingers together. The width of those 3 fingers held way out there at arm's length is almost exactly 5 degrees. It's a really simple and effective trick for any skywatcher. You know, this meeting with Antares is really just a single stop for our constantly moving moon. After this little get-together, its journey across our night sky keeps right on going. And it's actually setting the stage for an even more dramatic event down the road.
So, over the next week, the moon is going to keep traveling eastward, and it'll pass right through a lineup of famous constellations, Sagittarius, then Capricornus, and Aquarius. You can actually track this progress yourself night after night as it heads toward its next major milestone.
And that next milestone? It has a date. So you might want to go ahead and circle September 7th on your calendar, because the moon is preparing for an even more spectacular show.
On that night, we are going to witness a total lunar eclipse. This is what happens when the Earth passes directly between the sun and the moon, and it casts our planet's shadow across the entire face of the moon. This kind of alignment creates one of the absolute most stunning sights in the night sky. Which brings us to our final thought. As the Earth's shadow covers the moon, it will start to glow with this dramatic, deep reddish color, earning it that famous nickname, the Blood Moon. So, after you watch our neighbor dance with a supergiant this week, the real question is, are you ready for what comes next? Keep looking up.